Okay, our last two problems on this worksheet are 12 and 13. So let's see what we can do here. Okay, let's see what we can set up here. Now notice these are kind of shifted differently. They're facing different ways, so we're going to have to be careful. So here's our hypotenuse. So if I draw this arrow across from our right angles, that means 40 is to y. So 40 is to y. That also means that this side here corresponds to this side here. 12 is to 20. So let's go ahead and write that one down because that one gives us our ratio of our scale factor. So 12 is to 20 will simplify to 3/5. I can take 4 into both of those. So my ratio here is 3/5. Now, this x here, I'm going to look for first. And notice down here I'm told 90 is this one, 90 is this one, and then this one is 60. So this 60 is this long side 12, which is this 20, that's this one. And then it's the hypotenuse, which is this side here on this one. So this is the angle that's between this side and the hypotenuse. So the angle that's between this side and the hypotenuse up here is this x. So they tell you down here that that's 60. So that means that this x is 60 degrees. So our x is 60. Now let's look at y. Okay, y is the hypotenuse. So I did 12 to 20. I did the smaller to the larger. So 12 to 20 is 3/5. So now I have to do y is to 40. So 3 is to 5 as y is to 40. Okay, now we cross multiply here. That gives us 5y equals 120. Divide by 5 on both sides, and we get that y is equal to 24. So our y is 24. Okay, for z, let's look at z. So now it's 3 is to 5 as, 3 is to 5 as 12 square root of 3 is to z. 12 square root of 3 is to z. So we're going to have to multiply here. Cross multiply. That gives us 3z equals 12 times 5 is 60 on the square root of 3. Now if we divide by 3, that's going to give us z is equal to 3 goes into 60 20 times. 20 on the square root of 3. So this is 20 square root of 3. Okay, last one, number 13. This time they drew our smaller figure inside of our larger one. So this side here that's 15 corresponds to x. This y corresponds to the 16. This z is with the 12, and the 10 is with the, this whole thing here is 14, okay? So this 14 goes with the entire side. So we're going to have to use that 10 is to 14 to set up our equation here. So we're going to do 10 is to 14, which will simplify to 5/7. Okay, so my 5/7 is what I'm going to be using. So let's look for x first. So 5 is to 7, that's 10 is to 14, as x is to 15. X is to 15. All right, if we cross multiply, that gives us 7x equals 15 times 5, which is 75. If you divide by 7 on both sides, that is 75 over 7. You can't simplify that unless you take it down to a decimal. You could do that, which is 10.7. So you can do that if you want to. So we'll say that x is 10.7. Okay, for y, again, we have 5 is to 7. That was 5 is to 7. 10 is to 14. So y is to 16 equals y is to 16. All right, if we cross multiply here, that gives us 7y equals 5 times 16, which is 80. Divide by 7 on both sides, and that's going to give us y equals, this won't simplify, 80 divided by 7, but we can change it to a decimal. It's roughly 11.4. That's with rounding it. So y equals 11.4. And last, our z. So 10 is to 14, that's 5 is to 7, as z is to 12. Z is to 12. Okay, we cross multiply here. That gives us 7z equals 5 times 12, which is 60. Then we divide by 7 on both sides. Again, that 67ths won't simplify except for a decimal, so that's equivalent to 8.6. So our z is roughly 8.6. All right, guys, as always, if you have questions, let me know.